Yes, we have Zoom joining us as well. Hi, everyone. It's so nice to be here. I'm Dr. Adeea Afiz. You probably know me because we're going live on my Facebook page right now. But you may not know some of my wonderful team that I'm here with today. So I'm here with two amazing people, Dattatreya, who is my global coordinator, and Katie, who is my online business manager, or
Yay.
OBM. And Katie's in Australia, and Datu's in India, and I am in New Zealand. And so today we're bringing you like the epitome of probably the changing face of business and what business is either becoming for a whole lot of businesses, or maybe what you'd like your business to start looking like in the future, which is being online, being global, being able to offer your services to people no matter where you are and where they are, and no matter what's going on in the world around you, such as a global pandemic. So today we thought it would be nice to give you a little behind the scenes peek at how we have managed to get our business, which is my Dr. Adeea Afiz facilitation and healing business, where we facilitate classes, sessions, and programs all over the world, now delivered entirely online since COVID hit last year, and show you how we've done it and how we now want to help a lot of other people be able to do the same. So, yeah.
Adeela, like as you were just introducing us, this is probably something it may have been very like I never looked at it this way. Like just our business. You just said there's someone from India, someone from Australia, someone from New Zealand. I just recognize that our tech team is from Africa, and then we have someone else from the US, and then we have members in France. I was like, wow, it's one business. And it's never occurred to me that that we have people from so many different places coming together doing the same thing. And isn't that such an amazing place to start with, like the possibilities that exist on an online platform and what can be achieved online? I mean, it's so inconceivable, like probably 15, 20, 30 years ago when you thought of having people from different parts of the world being a part of the same business, and that being available today. Isn't that so cool? I mean, I just wanted to add that, like
No, it is. I agree. I never really thought about it either. We've got like the whole globe.
Yeah.
Especially as a service-based entrepreneur. And this is why I'm so excited, because I am so deeply, like my identity is very deeply entrenched, I guess, or it had been, as a practitioner and someone who worked hands-on, in person, face-to-face with people.
Yeah.
And so, as you said, like I never thought when I graduated, when I started my business in the first few years, your business was always where you were physically located. It was not encouraged that you chop and change that very often, because people need to know where you are consistently. And therefore, everyone you worked with and also your clients were often always people that were in a very close proximity or radius to you. You certainly weren't hiring people from the other side of the world, and your clients weren't people on the other side of the world. They're not even people from the other side of town, because it takes too long to get there, So it's such a mindset shift. It's so much fun, first of all, but it's such a mindset shift as well. And that's part of what we wanted to, I think, shed some light on today as well, because the world continues to change, and it's not going back to what we were used to anytime soon by the looks of it. And so I think there is more and more a need for people to be able to take their business online, or if they're dabbling in it or they're doing it, but they feel like it's not going very well, how can you very confidently start to grow your business online?
Yeah. So Katie, if I may ask you, like, you've been involved with so many businesses online, like what has it been like? And especially the last 18 odd months when like the world had to get online to kind of conduct business.
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it for you, and what has it been for people and their businesses to show up online?
Yeah. So a lot of businesses, they went from an in-person delivery mode to being online and running like webinars, Zoom meetings, and having their courses go from face-to-face facilitation to online, and having this type of like community and this type of conversations where everything is streamed through their Facebook group, or it's recorded and put into like a portal where they can watch the replays. That was the biggest thing, was really, and anyone that had physical products, making sure that they had shops online that they could actually sell that to, and organising couriers. And they were the biggest changes. And it was really around that, was that the mindset 100%, but also it's a big pivot and it's a big change. And you've gone from something you know so well to all of a sudden just you're thrown on the online world. Like, there's a lot of learning curves, but like with support like Adeea's, it's possible.
Yeah. Just yesterday I had this opportunity of speaking with a lady who is actually from China and was stuck in Dubai, for some work, and she couldn't really fly back to China. And she was sharing with me about how she said, you know what, the moment like the pandemic was announced, there was this lockdown announced and we couldn't fly to, like, she couldn't fly back to her home country. She was so clear that, you know what, I have Wi-Fi, like I have internet and I can make money. And she had that point of view. She had that, that's how she looked at it. And she's been living in Dubai and out of a 5-star, like a hotel for the last 1.5 years, and has been living like really, really well. And she said that, yeah, I was willing to look at the possibilities that does exist, like with an online system, if you're willing to use it and utilize it, and anyone can do it. And it's like, it's just your willingness to look at it, fine tune, have that confidence to know that, you know what, there is an entire world available, and you just have got to use these tools to your advantage and start creating. So
100%.
I thought that was amazing. Like, if you have the internet, you can make money.
Yes.
You have $1 million business,
you can really do what you love and what you want to do. Like, you don't have to stick to the norm. Like, you can follow your heart, follow your desire. If you want to do something, go and do it. You can. Everything's available online. You can live in a high rise, or like me, in the middle of the country, and still have like a successful business.
Yeah.
I think all of those like before the pandemic hit, it was funny because there was this laptop lifestyle that existed, but it was almost this too good to be true, or only some people could do it, because everyone doesn't have the luxury of, just being able to work from anywhere they want without a boss, or without having to like look out for all the other moving parts that they believed they needed to have fit into place in order to be able to afford a freedom lifestyle or a laptop lifestyle. And one of the beauties of like necessity is that you actually have to find a way through. And so what used to be like a luxury actually became, people had to find a way to have their businesses run online. People had to find a way to have their products that used to be in a store be able to be found and purchased online and shipped. And actually now people are realizing just how much is possible and can be achieved, no matter who you are and what income bracket you fall into. And I think the most exciting part is what industry you come from, because there are currently industries like mine, like ours, where 2 years ago, it would have seemed almost inconceivable to do healing modalities online and via distance.
Yeah, actually, my next question was for you, Adeea, because most of our work, and I would say probably 70-80% of our work is in-person, physical, coming to, like, there used to be days when you used to travel to India and do these classes, and we used to be in a room with people in it. And like, as you said, it was so inconceivable to consider the same thing online. And I do remember, like, us, when this did show up and we were looking at, okay, what next with business, we did look at the possibility of having this online, and there was that slight hesitation initially. I was like, are we sure? But with what we've seen over time, like the way people have received this body of work online and the changes and just the reach, like, what was that for you? And like, what do you see is like the gross difference when you're doing your work in a room and online?
Yeah, I'll never forget that period. Like, it was intense. We were literally making decisions to like cancel, and it was kind of like we had a tour of like Singapore, India, Italy, like, and back to maybe Singapore or Malaysia for classes that we was literally meant to kick off in March 2020. And I'll never forget being on the phone with the Thatcher and literally being like, I feel like I think we have to cancel because I don't think I can go to Singapore, because at that point it was just about personal like safety or being locked into a country, not being able to leave. We decided to cancel those classes. By the time we had made that call and got a bit closer, like all of the countries were shut. Like even if we'd wanted to, we couldn't fly in or out. And then the next decision was, okay, we thought we were going to be postponing, but it doesn't look like we can postpone to any future date that would be viable right now. So do we try to do this online? And it was like, even for us, there was definitely hesitation. There was a lot of like asking each other and asking ourselves and asking the universe. And this is where body whispering comes in, and business whispering, because we just kept getting like, yes, it's gonna work, but you have to like have the faith and the mindset and the confidence to do it. Because if we didn't have the ability to confidently go online and say, hey, we absolutely are going to deliver you the very best program, and it's not going to be anything less than what you can receive in an in-person class, we wouldn't have had so many people.
Yeah.
I think there's like 20 people in that online class who are literally taking a leap of faith with us, 20 or maybe 30.
And I guess, like the last year probably has been the one of our best years yet, like financially, and like what we've done like over the, and I
have doubled our growth. We're in way more regions. We have definitely doubled like when I say growth, that's important for people to know that, things can look shiny on the internet and things can look like they're going really well. In our business, things actually are going really well. And so what's important is to look at not just your income, but your profit margins. And so whilst we've had a lot of outgoings because we've had to completely change our systems, we've invested so much money in our back end so that all these programs are delivered well and our website's up to date and the staff is there to help support the team. But despite all of the investment, our profit margins are still so healthy. We've doubled our income, but also doubled our profit margins. And that is testament to, Katie mentioned mindset before. You've got to have the mindset, and you've got to start surrounding yourself with the people that can help cultivate the right mindset, cultivate that energetic congruence. Like, anyone can say they're going to do an online business now or take their business online. But if you're not congruent with it, and if you don't have like your mind, your body, and your energy aligned with it, you're going to be online and it's going to be crickets. It's no different to having a business in person. Yeah. And on the other side of that, though, I want to talk about how exciting it is for everyone. Because right now, no matter if you're in Bangalore, if you're in Melbourne, if you're in Auckland, you can launch your business or launch your course or your class or whatever it is you offer, and your audience is now worldwide.
You can help and reach so many more people.
Yeah.
And it just didn't exist. Like I don't want to like sound old, because I sound so old when I say this, and I cringe saying this part. But when I started my business, websites were really expensive. You did not have like Wix and Squarespace, and you couldn't just create like websites for free. Okay, and they were not drag and drop. You had to hire a web developer, and everything was like complicated and hard. graphic design was like, you would go to a person and they'd design a graphic and put it on a flyer, and then you'd get it printed and then you'd deliver the flyers. So I just feel like you can reach anyone now. You can literally put what you offer on your social media page. And if you put a little bit of time and education and energy into learning how to have social media that reaches new audiences, or investing in ads, or spending time growing your social media following, you can have clients on the other side of the world from you that you have never met.
So,
And that, yeah.
yeah, like if I were to ask you, I mean, I know that Adeela, we have a focus class that really speaks about getting our classes online, or getting your business online, basically. If I were to ask you, like, what do you think are like important things to consider when it comes to taking one's business online? Like, is that something we can talk about?
For me, because I'll talk about what I do and then Katie can talk about what she does. But for me, obviously, it's the mindset and it's the energetic congruence. Like I said, I just think that I could invest and do everything else right, but if I don't have that certainty, that clarity, and that congruence of like, I'm going to show up online and I'm willing to be seen, I'm willing to be found, you still won't convert. You'll see other people doing something very similar to you in the same industry as you, even with a very similar offering to you, and you'll wonder what that difference is.
Yeah.
But it's that energetic congruence and that visibility,
Willingness
that
to go up. Yeah.
mindset, the willingness to be seen, the willingness to feel like you're putting yourself out there, you're being vulnerable, you're like promoting yourself, all things that people don't necessarily like to do. And especially online, the flip side to being online is it's a noisy space, right? So how are you going to start when you feel like there's lots of people offering something similar to you? But I really believe that the deeper you get with who you are, like everything we do with the Business Whisperer podcast, Body Whispering, Business Whispering, it's like 3 words: authentic, congruent, successful, right? So the more authentic you are and just keep doing what you do well and are willing to share it, I think you will find success. But I absolutely believe, and that's what we teach, and that's what we'll definitely be covering in the focus class coming up, and then in the 2-day business whispering class coming up in a few weeks after that, is how do you get that energetic piece so that all the things you do actually seem easier instead of harder? That your visibility issues are not shadowing all of the hard work and all of the money you're investing in Facebook ads or graphic design or your Zoom account, all of that stuff. And then Katie, like, I'd love to hear your take on this.
Yeah, so I think one of the most important things is doing something you're aligned with, but consistency. I think consistency is so important. Like, you've just got to have faith. You've just got to trust yourself and go, you know what? I believe in what I do. I know I can help people. I'm just going to start to show up, and just same thing, just continually show up, be present, and yeah, just enjoy. Like, the love for what you do will shine through. But on a operational side of things, which is where I come into it, is when you do go online, you do need to make sure that you're starting to put systems in place. It doesn't have to be massive, like huge, like overwhelming systems. It can literally, when you start, you can have a notebook with dot points, and it can be every day at 11 o'clock, I'm going live. I'm going to go do a Facebook Live. And that can be social media. That can be one system. That's it. It's not overwhelming. And then as you grow and you start to develop, like you need to start doing different things, or you need to start, you've got customer service and all the different elements that come into an online business, you can start to build out these systems and these processes one at a time. And the reason you want to do this is when you've got a strong foundation, when your business does take off, because it will. If you're following and doing everything that you love, and you're following all of the advice that Adeea is giving in the class, then you will be successful. and if you believe in yourself, you will, you're going to start to need staff. And that's when having these systems in place, you're going to be able to bring support in. And there's not going to be an overwhelming task of, I've got to hire someone, train someone. Everything is there and it's documented for them. And that's one of the, like, that's really key. Do it when you first start out, because there's only going to be a few little bits and pieces. You don't want to get to, 6, 8, 12 months down the track, and then all of a sudden you need to do something and there's nothing in place. And like I said, they don't have to be perfect, and it's always going to be changing. And I think that's one thing in business too, that you need to be aware of, that it's never going to be perfect and it's always going to change. Like if you're doing an online course, you're going to go through it and you're going to pick out pieces and go, this isn't right, this needs to be changed, this needs to be upgraded. But you need to remember too that your audience isn't seeing that, and you need to not be so hard on yourself, because you've got it out there, you've got your product out there, and that's like amazing. And you're always going to want to change it, but be gentle on yourself and be kind. That's probably from like an operation. Just start documenting everything you do as soon as you start. And like building a website these days, you can watch some YouTube videos. You can do pretty much anything that you want on your own. Like believe in yourself. Honestly, just give it a go. And if it's bad, if it's bad, fix it. You should see my first website. Oh, I looked at it the other day and just went, wow. I had a picture of vase on it, and that was it. It was so bad, but I believed in myself.
Yeah, and that together with the other thing you briefly just mentioned there is like done basically is better than perfect, and also like this element of time that I think is important. If you wait till you're comfortable or wait till you feel ready. Like some of you might be sitting out there right now going, yes, I know, like I hear the whisper, I need to go online. I'm currently in lockdown, so I should be online. We don't know when the world's going back to normal, so it's time for me to go online, but I don't feel ready, or I don't know what to do next. The longer you give yourself to try to start to feel ready or feel comfortable, the longer it is until your business is online. And potentially it never comes. Like if you wanted to give yourself 12 months to get online, you'll take 12 months. But somebody else is going to give themselves 12 weeks, and somebody else is going to give themselves 12 days. And actually it will be done in those time frames for each of those people, because you will take as long as you give yourself. And so
I'll say, and what's the worst that can really happen? Like what's the like worst case scenario? You've got a business now, you can't actually go and service it in person. So what is you're not going to be in a worse situation by even trying. You can't lose. Like you're not going to go backwards. So take the leap of faith.
And that's what we want to do in these classes coming up. The focus class on Friday is like this awesome short little like Kickstarter, if you want to look at it that way. It's like 3 hours of information, as well as facilitation, as well as a body whispering session. And we're doing a body whispering session because I do understand and believe, like I've had a lot of healing work done on like my mindset and my money stuff and my visibility stuff. So we do understand that there's an energetic and like a healing aspect to being willing and able to show up and run your business globally and online. And that's why we're doing this focus class in this way, because we're doing the practical stuff you need, the informative stuff you need, as well as the energetic clearing and aspect of like, okay, it's okay if you do not feel congruent right now and do not feel you can show up online authentically. Over the course of this short class, we're hoping to help you shift that energy and feel better in your mind about at least taking the first few steps and then guiding you through.
Adeea, if I may ask you, so this class would be pertinent to people from what industry? Is this only for coaches, facilitator, guy, and who can attend this?
This one, this is the focus class. It's actually open to anyone and everyone. There are no prerequisites. If you are a product-based or a service-based entrepreneur who is just feeling nervous, scared, uninformed, or you don't know where to start, and you feel very overwhelmed with this concept, or you'd like some support, it's going to give you everything you need in a nice bite-size edible chunk. And then in a couple of weeks, as I said, we've got the Business Whispering 2-day deep dive. And that for me, like as a service-based entrepreneur, I feel that if you are a service-based entrepreneur from any industry, that is a great class for people to attend, because it's really interesting being a service-based entrepreneur. That means you are selling a service that often we're providing ourselves. So there's lots of hang-ups around, I'm selling myself. How do I sell? How do I market? How do I put a price on what I do? How do I ask for money? How do I not feel yucky when I do that? How do I advertise? Where do I advertise? All of that stuff that comes up for people who are providing a service and needing to put a price on their time and expertise is what the Business Whispering class is about. And
I just got
want to jump
reminded
in.
of, and I'm laughing because I got reminded of a lady who attended MBA program in a college, and she worked so hard to get into that MBA college. And she said, "What I learned in those 2 days with Business Whispering was everything I required and more." And I was like, I'm wondering, why did I have to go and complete that MBA program when I got so much around business in those 2 days? So yeah, I mean, it was.
I remember her saying that, and I was blown away. Like, that is one of, still to date, we must find, I think we might have it on video as a testimonial. I'm going to try and find it, because that blew me away. Because hello, I don't have an MBA. Like, yes, I've done a lot of business. Yes, I work with a lot of business owners across so many industries. But what the crux of it comes down to is like all the things, as you said, like all the things we wish we'd been taught that we're not when we do a business course, even an online business course. For me, as this very intuitive healer type person into like consciousness and body whispering and stuff, a lot of those business programs and what they were teaching and how they were teaching it, they don't resonate with me, and they won't work for me. Like what they teach and how they teach you to do it, I'm not going to go out and do that, because if I show up in that way, it's inauthentic and it's unaligned. And so for me, Business Whispering was really developing like a very practical, almost system, like this very practical exercise and way of doing your business whilst being able to listen to those whispers of how to be very authentic, very aligned, do it in the way that creates business and success and financial abundance for you, without you feeling like you have to be Gary Vee or someone else that's yelling on the internet every day and hustling your butt off, you know, because for a lot of us, a lot of healers, intuitives, empaths, service-based entrepreneurs, that's not our makeup. That's not what's going to work for us.
I think a really important point too is you were touching on those feelings of that you have, like you're not sure, you don't, like those feelings are so valid. And I think, well, actually, I know I've worked with 7-figure entrepreneurs and they have the exact same thing. Like you're not alone. And I think one of the things that we haven't touched on yet, which I believe is really important, and I could be wrong here, but is community. And you're going to meet people. Adeea touched on the fact that it's about surrounding yourself with like-minded people. You're going to meet like-minded people, and some of you will be at the same point, some of you will be further ahead, but you'll all be able to support each other and help each other grow. And I think that in itself is priceless in the online world, is having that human connection and meeting those like-minded people who will be there to support you. And that's something that you get in the courses and the classes. And I think that's invaluable. And I think that's something that like definitely like need to like speak to.
Yeah, like for example, Adeela and I met in a class. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
What do you think that like you're such a valuable part of our business and you've been part of so much growth, you know, what would you contribute to the conversation around like seeing the need? I think you are aware of like a lot of people being in situations where they want to maybe take their business online, but
Yeah, you know, absolutely, Adila. I remember those conversations where, you know, it was non-negotiable in our world to give up on our business. And we were willing to do whatever it took for us to be out there and really use the resources we have to kind of get ourselves and get this. Because when we start looking, when we work with any business, when we are willing to look at the fact that the business is a different life force by itself and it has actually very little to do with you. When you look at the energy of the business and you're willing to look at what the energy of the business can really create. And I remember us actually doing body whispering, business whispering sessions on our business and asking, you know, what is required, and we followed it. And of course it was slightly uncomfortable right at the beginning, but then I think it was just that willingness to not give up and like stay connected with our grand vision, which is to kind of have this body of work out in the world because we see the value that it creates for us and people who've been associated with us for so long. It's like, okay, so what can be done? Like, you know, all those, you know, those bits of your brain that tells you, oh, this isn't possible, or, you know, you're willing to just have someone like, so in this case, I had you, and then we had our entire team, like the support of our team, who are willing to, you know, like cheerlead and go into, okay, so for a moment, if you didn't listen to It's Not Possible, like what else could we really go out and create? And yeah, I think it was that, as Katie mentioned, that community, like that support of like-mindedness of knowing that, hey, it's non-negotiable that this business doesn't grow. We've got to, yeah, okay, we require a better website, we require a better backend, we require a couple of other people who can support this vision. Now we all come together and we create it. So
Yes.
and I just think like you've mentioned also something so important, that level of discomfort. I think people who are not yet seasoned in running business, I think they think that that's something wrong and they avoid it or maybe run away from it, or that's where they would stop. Whereas I think once you've been in business for any length of time, you realize that that's exactly how it feels. And that's actually where the magic happens. And every step of the way, no matter what it necessarily or unnecessarily looks like on the outside, actually, when we're going through major growth that leads to major success, we're often feeling very uncomfortable in that process.
Overwhelmed.
Right? And so, you know, if I'm questioning something, then that's the day that Dathu and Katie will be like, no, we're right on. This is great. And then, you know, when Dathu's feeling that way, it's, you know, my turn to be like, actually, no, this is exactly what the whispers are telling us. And this is exactly what's required. And it's about realizing, though, because if you don't find that community, if you don't do classes like this or join a mastermind or do one of our business programs, you might think that you're wrong or something's wrong when you enter that period of discomfort. If you haven't been taught or shown that actually it is uncomfortable, all of us feel that way, and it's not even just at the beginning, at every level of growth.
Yes.
We have felt that discomfort and we've had to like push through it because there's so much glory. Easter and glory is on the other side of that discomfort.
And it's so scary.
It is. And if you don't do anything to like find this community, find this information and get the facilitation or support you require, I think this is why people either give up or don't start in the first place, because no one's normalized or no one's been transparent around what it's like behind the scenes, which is why we're having this conversation.
Yeah, you know, another thing that I'd like to add here is how there have been people in this world who've had ideas, who've translated that into businesses. You know, like, you know, it's like, so why, the reason I say that is because there are some wheels that have already been invented. There are some tools that are short that people use that create X result. And we were willing to kind of seek help when I remember when we were transitioning, and we were willing to learn from whoever or whatever was willing to contribute to our vision. So if you're someone like this, like, I'm really like, I would really like everyone to know that if you're someone who has an idea, or if you're someone who is currently stuck in a part of your business with whatever is it that is occurring with your business, please know that there have been others in the past who have been there and who found a solution or who found a tool in order to kind of have that growth and change. And what if, instead of giving up on that business, giving up on that idea, or not really taking that first step to really go ahead and do whatever it is that you do, you take a step, get a little uncomfortable if that's what it takes, but come to places that actually nurture your thinking pattern, nurture your hope and what you know is possible with your business with these tools. And you can use these tools, and when you put these tools together, you create a result. And most of the times the result is a successful business.
That is so true.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about
so true.
business, because we're literally saying these are tools that will work with you and who you are and what you need. Like, when we're never teaching you to do something that makes you feel unaligned with your business, we're always bringing you into more alignment, even if it feels like, but I don't see anyone else doing it that way, or I don't think that model's going to work for me, or that model's going to work for me. We are like the hub of creating the hybrid or the particular way that's going to work for you. So
there is a way.
Yeah, there is a way. Nothing is impossible. We, like, our team is so positive. Like, we are such a positive and empowering as well as empowered team. And I think sometimes we can forget or not realize that that's not what everyone else is surrounded by or gets, because I know anyone that's sitting there once thinking, well, how did you get that? Or, yeah, that's why you can do it and we can't. But I promise, guys, like, I was just a single 23-year-old, fresh grad, chiropractor, looking for what else was possible and following these intuitive whispers that had no way of being able to even be described very well to other people what the vision was. I didn't even have words to describe it. So to see where we are today, the Life Whispering Institute, the classes, the advanced classes, the practitioner programs, the year-long mastermind, like, all of these things are magic, but they've been created step by step. And I promise I was no more advantaged, no more knowledgeable about business, and certainly no more knowledgeable about online business than any of you or most of you. Most of you probably know more than me when I started, or have a better platform to start from, because the things that you're trying to do in the world are now, everyone has a much more open point of view about what's possible and how you can run your business online. And online business wasn't actually a thing that long ago, So you're at a really exciting time if you'd like to look at it that way. If you'd like to go with the wave of where I think the world is heading, even for service-based entrepreneurs, even for healers and practitioners. If you'd like to take it to the next level and create a business and income that's not limited by where you're physically based, people needing to be able to come find you, or not having a physical storefront, this is the time to jump on and make yourself a bit uncomfortable in the process perhaps, but really follow that knowing.
I think too, like, you'll forget the uncomfortable feeling. Once you get through it, you'll forget and it will be like a
It's
distant
almost
memory.
easy in hindsight. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like,
exactly. You look back and go, why was I so
easy
worried?
years.
But it's the exciting part of the journey. And then you'll get, like, in all honesty, you'll get through one challenge and then another one will pop up that you have to learn. And that's why it's important to have that community who have been there, or they have different ideas. And it's like amazing what a group of people can come up with, like a supportive group. Like, there is no problem you can't solve.
Yeah.
You know, I also, like, before we kind of like share a little more details about the upcoming focus, I just want to speak about the magic of the body and business whispering, because we as a team use the tools in order to create our schedules. And I was looking at like our focus classes, like schedule of it was created like long back, and I look at how freaking relevant this is today. Like, how relevant is that? Like,
I'm amazed, I'm actually just as shocked as you are, because we literally created the schedule at
like
the beginning of
months
the
ago.
year. And
Yeah.
everyone can see that we have the focus classes laid out until December. And what I encourage you all to go do, just because it's hilarious and a little bit creepy, is how come each month, the focus class we have is exactly where the world is at and what it's time for and what it's ready for.
It's meant to be.
Yeah, it's like we had whispers of awareness or something. It's like the business told us.
You can see the future, can't you? Just tell us the truth.
So,
Ball.
yeah, and when
Yes.
we did this, like with what's happening in India, like the other thing, guys, is I maybe mistakenly, because I'm in New Zealand, was like, oh great, 2021, the world's getting back to normal, right?
Yeah.
Like countries are opening up, COVID's dying down, and we're gonna like start getting back to normal soon. And then by March, April, like what we have such a large percentage of clients and team in India, and to see that pandemic and the UK coming in and out of lockdown as well, 2021, it's certainly not getting better or easier for us to be able to keep creating and innovating and not letting that affect our mindset every month, where it feels like there's a curveball, but actually then seeing how we've set up the business and realizing this is fine, we can still keep functioning. Actually, we're perfectly positioned to still keep going and being supported by the universe, by the team, and by whatever is required. That's been such a gift. And so this is really an invitation to step into a different way of functioning that includes who you are and what your awareness is and what would work for you, with the beauty of having and running a successful business that includes online business, because it also allows you to be open to the changes that come your way, to be able to make changes as required. If you're sick, if your family's sick, if your country or city's gone into lockdown, how flexible is your business and your business model, and how able are you to pivot or change or to do what's required? And so we want to create very viable businesses that are not going to like fail if one thing stops being as you need it to be. If your environment changes, are you able to still continue being a successful and financially viable business?
Awesome. I am really looking forward to the focus class and so do we have the dates, Adeela? It's on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have two very exciting things coming up, and I will share them with you now. We have the Body Whispering Focus class, and it's called the Body Whispering Focus class because, as I said, we're doing that body whispering session. We're including the energy and the need for like letting go of any visibility issues or confidence issues in this focus class that's coming up. I am going to share this with you guys. Give me a second.
And the best part is you do not require to have any prerequisite or like prior education with any kind of energy work or something. This literally speaks to everyone, and that's what I really like about these focus classes. It is so um, it's for everyone. And if whether you've done classes in the past, if you haven't, like with Life Whispering Institute, this is a great place to come to.
Yeah, so 28th of May, which is this Friday, it's a 3-hour class at 7 to 10 p.m. So right now would be bang in the middle of the class, wherever you are in the world, whatever time it is, it's 3 hours around this time. And what I love about it is how it includes so many different aspects. Like we do the live class, it's interactive, you get facilitation, we answer your questions. We then do the body whispering group session. I give you some home play exercises or activities to focus on after you finish the class. And you have lifetime access to the video and audio recording. So it's a lot of bang for your buck. These focus classes have no prerequisites, and they're priced at $125 USD if you're from Europe, America, the UK, or if you are in India, Australasia, or Pacific, it's only 99 USD. So if you're looking to make an investment, but you're not quite able or ready to make a huge investment, hopefully this is a really nice stepping stone for you. And you can find this on my website under the classes and programs link. And right under it, you'll also find the upcoming business whispering class that I will share with you guys in the Facebook link below. And yeah, it's been fun, guys. Thanks for joining me in this behind the scenes peek at Team Dr Adeea Afiz. And Katie, we've really appreciated you coming on. And I know that it's probably time for you to go finally like relax after a busy day.
I'm a business owner. What's that word relax mean?
Yeah, I know. Time for some Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
And you so much, because I know that you are incredibly busy as well, running all of your own very successful classes as well as being part of our team. And so I'll let you get back to your busy day in India. And hopefully many of you are joining us on Friday for this focus class, and then June 12th and 13th for the 2-day business whispering class, which is going to be super fantastic this time. So it always is, but it's just super exciting to be able to bring this online aspect to it this year.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Adeea.
Thank you. See ya.